Oh man, oh man, oh man. This is it, y'all. The special episode. Ladies and gentlemen, blurds and nerds, freaks and geeks, this is the special DYSG episode for San Diego Comic-Con 2019. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, this is a special Do You Speak Geek episode to cover almost everything from San Diego Comic-Con. It's impossible to cover everything because San Diego Comic-Con is one of those events where every year it is jam-packed. You're going to be up to your ears and beyond with the amount of information and videos and pictures and figures, whether they're pop or action figures. You got exclusive posters, images, interviews. So much goes into San Diego Comic-Con. It is ridiculous. And here at DYSG, we're going to try to bring you as much as possible, at least the hot stuff. So, let's jump right in. Ladies and gentlemen, let's speak geek. Alright, to start off, we had the Batwoman Season 1, Episode 1 pilot premiere at San Diego Comic-Con. The latest addition to the Arrowverse, Batwoman, doesn't stray far away from the beaten path. Now, with that being said, that just pretty much means that it's pretty much following the formula of what CW shows are. You got the hero, you got some kind of quirky sidekick who's techie and geeky. In this episode, or this show rather, it's Lucius Fox's son, Luke Fox. If you all read the comics, he eventually does become Batwing. I really don't mind the formula. It works. It can get a little bit, monotonous, but at the same time, it's a CW, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's how I feel. Also, we got Eddie Furlong officially returning as John Connor in Terminator Dark Fate. The band is getting back together for this year's Terminator Dark Fate. Not just Arnie and producer James Cameron, Linda Hamilton is also reprising her role as Sarah Connor, a fact that has been known since the start of production. If you've seen the trailer, you see her in there. However, during Thursday's Dark Fate panel at San Diego Comic-Con, Cameron confirmed that yet another familiar face was making his way back to the Terminator franchise. Furlong officially returned to play John Connor once again. After introducing the film, he confirmed that both Hamilton and Furlong would be back to play the Connors again. Now, I for one I'm not necessarily happy about it. I'm not upset about it either, but anything's better than that Crow movie that he did. So there's that. The Jay and Silent Bob reboot. The Jay and Silent Bob reboot Red Band trailer. Now, if you guys have seen this movie is going to be insanely funny. I mean, who's not in this movie? You got Melissa Benoist from Supergirl. You've got Val Kilmer, Red Man, Method Man, Ben Affleck. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, Matt Damon is back in this movie. You've got, it's hard to figure out who's in this movie. I mean, everyone is in this movie. It's going to be great. I cannot wait to see it. You even have Harley Quinn Smith, who is my man's daughter, back in this film. Kevin Smith's daughter's in this film. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait to see it. And they also said that they will do a Stan Lee tribute in the film, so that's going to be a tearjerker probably, because Kevin Smith, big guy, big advocate for Stan Lee and all that he does, so that's going to be great to see. The Batman Beyond panel, there was a great thing going on there. The Batman Beyond complete series has been remastered for Blu-ray, and Bruce Timm, the creator of the Batman animated series and also Batman Beyond, hinted possibly at a 5th season, pending on box sale booms. So I don't know if we'll see that, but hopefully we do. Top Gun Maverick, that first trailer hit. It pretty much sees the character Maverick as someone who has not, I don't know, he hasn't matured, if you want to call it that. He's still out flying planes. He hasn't gone on to bigger and better things with his life, so I guess we'll see how that plays out. Val Kilmer is also in this movie as well. He's reprising his role as Iceman. I wasn't a huge Top Gun fan as a kid, but I watched the movie. I liked it. And man, you want to fly planes, so I'm here for this one too. We also have His Dark Materials trailer. HBO has been bringing quite a lot of fantasy to this year's San Diego Comic-Con, including the latest look at His Dark Materials. During the show's panel on Thursday, HBO and BBC debuted a new trailer for the upcoming television adaptation. His Dark Materials is set in a pretty unique alternate reality in which humans go through life alongside a daemon, a physical manifestation of the human soul. The series follows a young orphan named Lyra who discovers a dangerous secret that leads her down a mysterious rabbit hole. It stars Daphne Keane as Lyra, Ruth Wilson as Marissa Coulter, James McAvoy as Lord Asriel, Clark Peters as Dr. Carney, and Lin-Manuel Miranda as Lee Scoresby. It provides the most in-depth look at the series yet, and it's going to debut in March of next year, so we'll see how that goes with that. It's going to be great. I think it'll be good. The trailer will look amazing, so we'll see how the show pans out next March on HBO. Halloween is getting 2 sequels. The first one's called Halloween Kills, and the latter is called Halloween Ends. Blumhouse has announced the 2 sequels, which brought back the masked killer Michael Myers and Jamie Lee Curtis's Laurie Strode. Halloween Kills is the follow-up to the 2018 revival and will be released on October 16th, while Halloween Ends will be released on October 15th, 2021, just under 1 year later. Blumhouse also teased the 2 films don't give much away. Expect to say that the saga of Michael Myers and Laurie Strode is not yet over. The Walking Dead Season 10. Daenerys Garura is leaving after Season 10. Aww. Yeah, I know. I guess she can't really split her time too much between that and Marvel or whatever future projects she has coming up, but we'll see. There'll be plenty of change in the new season of The Walking Dead outside the departure of Rick. After spending nearly an entire season in prison, it looks like Negan will be a free man this time around. The showrunner, Angela Kang, hinted at freedom for Negan following his heroic actions at the end of Season 9. During a dangerous snowstorm, Negan saved Judith and Daryl's dog from almost certain death, and that might be enough to redeem him in the eyes of certain characters. I'm not a huge Walking Dead fan. In fact, I'm really not a fan of it at all. Hold on, wait. Okay, well, I'm not against it. I just haven't gotten around to an episode. It's just one of those things with me. But maybe one day I'll binge it and catch up with the rest of you guys. DC Animation. They premiered the Batman Hush film at Comic-Con, and they also had a few other movie announcements, one being Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. They didn't confirm which heroes will be featured in this new movie, though the title suggests the new gods of Apocalypse and New Genesis will have a role to play. As with the first Justice League Dark movie, the sequel will take place in the ongoing DC Universe movie. No word on whether the sequel will also be R-rated. Also announced Superman Red Sun. If you're all familiar with the story, it's an Elseworld tale that imagines a world where instead of growing up in Kansas and fighting for truth, justice, and the American way, Kal-El's rocket lands in the USSR in the 1950s, and Superman becomes a champion of Soviet values. The story also recast Batman, Wonder Woman, Brainiac, Green Lantern, and Lex Luthor through the lens of the Cold War. Finally, we also have Superman, Man of Tomorrow, an original story featuring a young Clark Kent still in his early career as Superman. If you all read the comics, plenty of comic book stories have reworked and reimagined the Man of Steel origins, whether it be Superman, Man 2 Steel, Superman Birthright, or Superman Secret Origin. The Man of Steel movie did something similar on the big screen, and most recently Frank Miller and John Romita Jr. began exploring Superman's earliest adventures in the DC Black Label comic Superman Year One. It was a nice change to see them drop 2 Superman movies this time around. It's usually a heavy focus on Batman or the Justice League. So we got 1 JL movie and 2 Superman movies. I love it. Respect the S. It's a little hint I'm dropping there, something coming in the future. So be on the lookout for that. The new trailer for HBO's Watchmen series. Now, early in the trailer, Regina King's character says Dr. Manhattan lives on effing Mars. And we get a glimpse of what appears to be satellite footage showing that to be true. But apparently some of the events on Earth brings him back to his home planet. Nothing ever ends. This is just the beginning, says Jeremy Irons, Adrian Veidt. Perhaps it's attempting to manipulate the godlike being once again and bring him back to Earth is the beginning of his new plan. The trailer stinger shows a suited figure reaching down to pick up a blue mask, and a glimpse of his blue hand seems to confirm his return. Even though Dr. Manhattan had left Earth, the trailer includes lots of imagery invoking the character, including a festival with costumes and masks in his likeness. I am definitely going to be watching this one. Big Watchmen fan, big fan of this book and all that it does. I even like the movie, I said before in the podcast. So we'll see what happens with this one. Star Trek. Yes. Shout out to all the Trekkies out there. You guys got a treat, because Star Trek brought it at Comic-Con this year. Let's just start from the top. The Picard trailer. Star Trek The Next Generation stars Jonathan Frakes and Marina Sirtis will reprise their respective roles as Will Riker and Deanna Troi in the new series. Frakes already confirmed to direct the 3rd and 4th episode of the new series. Last Riker and Troi were seen in Star Trek Nemesis. They were newlyweds, leaving the Enterprise as Riker took command of the USS Titan. Also, Star Trek is getting an official podcast called Prime Directive. CBS announced it. It's being co-hosted by Tawny Newsome of Brockmire Bajillion Dollar Properties, and will be one of the stars of the CBS All Access animated series Star Trek Lower Decks from Mike Mahan. The podcast will debut this fall. Prime Directive is said to take a smart, witty, and thoughtful look at all things Trek, both old and new, offering a high-level discussion of themes, ideas, and characters that resonate across the history of the franchise's storied universe. Episodes will also explore the brand's 50-plus year legacy, and influence in an accessible and inclusive way for dedicated and casual Star Trek fans alike. Lastly, we have Star Trek's animated series Lower Decks has made casting choices. During the panel, CBS revealed that Jack Quaid has been cast as one of the voices in the animated comedy. According to Variety, Quaid will play Ensign Brad Balmier, described as a total stickler. He does everything by the book. With great sci-fi stuff, he's completely bound to the rules. He doesn't know how to follow his gut, and if he wants to be a captain someday, he's going to have to learn how to improvise. The series will focus on him, but the ship they're serving on, the California-class USS Citaros, will have a bridge crew that is convinced the show's about them. So the crew includes Lieutenant Shax, Captain Freeman, Commander Ransom, and Dr. Tiana, played by Fred Tauscher, Dawn Lewis, Jerry O'Connell, and Gillian Viegman, respectively. Star Trek, man. I'm more of a Star Wars guy myself personally, but Star Trek does have its throne in the whole geek nerd realm. Of course, Star Trek fans and Star Wars fans have been arguing and debating for years on what's better. Star Trek may be gaining a little more steam here in that argument. But nonetheless, it's great stuff for CBS All Access. It's great stuff for the fans. And I'm pretty sure some of you guys out there are going to be paying attention and watching and listening, because it's the podcast too. DuckTales to feature Daisy Duck, Rescue Rangers, Goofy, and more. I know life is like a hurricane, but right now life seems like it's in the 90s. It would appear that the rest of the show's second season will feature the return of Magica in some form, the Beagle Boys teaming up with Flintheart Gimold, Glomgold, and the invasion of Earth by the Moon. It looks like all of this mayhem causes the crew to seek out help wherever they can find it, including from what appears to be newly official hero, Darkwing Duck, as established in recent episodes. Whatever happened in the rest of Season 2, it's clear that something significant shakes up the status quo, as Disney has revealed that Daisy Duck, Goofy, the Rescue Rangers, Gosling from Darkwing Duck, and Kit Cloud Kicker, my guy, from Tailspin, are all making their debut in the show's third season. I am so geeked for this, because Kit Cloud Kicker was my spirit animal. I'm telling you. I know people love Darkwing Duck. They love Tailspin. They love Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. But on Tailspin, Kit Cloud Kicker was my guy. He had the hat to the back. He was cloud surfing. Whew, I cannot wait. This is going to be amazing. Anyways, but the poster released alongside the news also seemed to hint at other characters, like a grown-up version of Molly from Tailspin, making an appearance as well. If you don't have cable, if you don't have Disney XD, find a way to see these episodes. These are going to be great. It's going to be a nice trip down memory lane, and maybe even bring about some new stories that we've never seen before. I am absolutely 100% here for it. This blurred is ready. Now, the insane amount of news that came out of Marvel.
Oh my God!
Marvel Studios. I think they were trying their best to break the internet with the amount of stuff they dropped. Let's just start from the top. I mean, Marvel Phase 4, we knew it was coming. The announcements were made, and it was insane, the amount of stuff they gave us. So let's just start from the top. Phase 4. Let's start with the movies. The Eternals. It will be hitting theaters on November 6th, 2020. We have Chloe Zhao directing with a star cast that will feature Angelina Jolie as Thena, Richard Madden as Icarus, Kumail Nanjiani as Kingo, Lauren Ridolph as Makari, Brian Tyree Henry as Phaedos, Salma Hayek as Ajak, Leah McHugh as Sprite, and Don Lee as Gilgamesh. Unlike other films in the MCU, Eternals is taking place millions of years before the rest of the movies, an idea that has always intrigued Feige. So, if anyone's wondering the continuity of this movie is pretty much set way before Iron Man 1. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. It's going to be dropping on February 12th, 2021. The film will be helmed by Destin Daniel Cretton on a script by Wonder Woman 84 scribe Daniel Callum. Simu Liu, I am butchering his name. Simu Liu will be playing the role of Shang-Chi, while Tony Leung will take the mantle of the real Mandarin. Now, as you all know, the trash that was Iron Man 3 and Ben Kingsley's mock version of Mandarin left a bad taste in every fan's mouth. It looks like this time around we're getting a real Mandarin, and I can't wait to see how they're going to do this. I feel personally like, man, it sucks because we're getting Mandarin, the real Mandarin now, who is probably one of Iron Man's greatest villains, and Iron Man's gone. But we'll see what happens. I'm here for it either way. But I just think that we're kind of getting this character a little too late. Or are we? Because it's Marvel and they can do what they want. I mean, we all know if you read comics, especially Marvel comics, death doesn't really mean anything. We also have Black Widow. That's going to be coming out on May 1st of next year. Now, it takes place between Captain America Civil War and Avengers Infinity War. Now, the other cast members announced for Black Widow include David Harbour from Stranger Things. He's playing Alexei, not Alexei from Stranger Things, but he's playing Alexei, a.k.a. the Red Guardian. Florence Pugh as Yelena Belova, a.k.a. the second Black Widow. Rachel Weisz as Melina, and O.T. Fabinde as Mason. Also, Taskmaster has been confirmed as one of the villains in this film. Love Taskmaster. I loved fighting him in Spider-Man PS4. Great character. I can't wait to see who they're going to cast as Taskmaster and how they're going to portray him on the big screen with Black Widow. Thor, Love and Thunder. That's dropping on the 5th of November, 2021. Natalie Portman is back, and back in a major way. Get this. She will be taking up the mantle of Thor. Now, if you read comics, you know that a couple of years back, they did a storyline for The Mighty Thor where Jane Foster became Thor herself. I can't wait to see how they're going to do it. Is it going to be CGI? Is she just going to have a costume on? But apparently Jane Foster is going to be worthy in this movie, and I cannot wait to see it. Doctor Strange, Into the Multiverse of Madness. Rumor has it this is going to be Marvel's first stab at a horror film. It's dropping on May 7th, 2021. Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch will co-star in a big way that will directly tie into the WandaVision series on Disney+. Scott Derrickson teased the Marvel Comics he teased that the villain Nightmare will be the sequel's villain, and the title implies that he will be a major hurdle for Doctor Strange to get over. So, if Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse of Madness is anything like the original, it's going to be a visual, just smorgasbord, if you will, and I can't wait to see what happens on this one. Now, the best announcement out of the MCU panel. is that we are remaking Blade, and we have Mahershala Ali as Blade. Yes. Mahershala Ali. He is Blade. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait. This blurred is ready. Y'all better get ready. It's gonna be so dope. I can't wait. Okay. If you all could saw me, it was my happy dance, but yeah, man, this is gonna be dope. I think this is probably one of the best castings since Robert Downey Jr. playing Iron Man. My personal opinion, if you don't like it, send it back. It's fine. We'll keep it warm. But this is gonna be fire, man. From what I understand, right after he won the Oscar for Green Book, he went to Kevin Feige and said, "Hey, I want to be Blade," and Kevin was like, "All right, cool." It was funny how he just snatched the crown on that one. But I think it's going to be good. Just on the strength of his acting ability, man. I think it's going to be an awesome, awesome remake. We'll see what other characters are included. Hopefully it'll be dope. I have a few picks for that. Maybe we can put more. We can put some Morbius in there. That's just me personally thinking out loud. But anyway. Now, for Marvel's Disney Plus content, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that's coming fall 2020. Anthony Mackie has confirmed he will be wearing a Captain America suit. As of course you know, at the end of Endgame, Steve Rogers handed Falcon the shield and said, "It's yours now." So I can't wait to see what that's going to be like. Hopefully they'll have other characters included outside of just him and Winter Soldier making a return or just a debut. So we'll see what happens. WandaVision, it will explain why she is called Scarlet Witch in this series. Paul Bettany doesn't know if or even how Vision is alive. So, we'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure that's just his way of kind of ducking and dodging and not doing a Mark Ruffalo and spoiling things. But we'll see what happens there. Also, Tiana Paris, if you all are familiar with her, she has done Dear White People. She was in the Survivor's Remorse series on Starz. She also had a stint on Empire. She will be portraying adult Monica Rambeau in this series. Is she going to be Photon? Is she going to... it's going to be so great. I think that casting choice is amazing. Beautiful, beautiful woman. It's going to be dope. Loki, the god of mischief. Now, for you people out there who are hearing this and you haven't seen Endgame, you're like, wait a minute, didn't Loki die back in the other Avengers movie? Yes. But this Loki is the one who escaped with the Space Stone in Avengers Endgame. The new Loki series will follow this Loki from the Splinter timeline and reveal where he went with the Space Stone. In June, Hiddleston talked about what it's been like playing such a popular villain. He also teased that the upcoming streaming service will be a change of pace for him. I can't wait to see that one. Maybe we'll see a Hemsworth cameo. They gotta do it. That's you can't have a Loki show and not put Thor in there in some way or another, but I think it's gonna be dope. Also, Hawkeye's getting the show, people. Kate Bishop has been confirmed. She will be in the show. Hawkeye will be training her up in the show. The series will further explore Clint's time as Ronin within the 5-year gap between Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. So it'll explain what he had been doing the entire time while he was away doing his Ronin thing. And lastly, we have an animated series called What If. Now, this was one of my favorite comic book series growing up. What If used to always explore what if questions like, what if Wolverine joined the Avengers? Or, what if the Hulk killed the Watcher? Or just stuff like that. There have been so many what if stories. Now, with this animated series, Jeffrey Wright has been cast as the Watcher. I'm guessing he'll be a regular, kind of introducing these what if series a la like Twilight Zone. Major MCU actors and actresses will be lending their voice talents. The list so far consists of Michael B. Jordan, Killmonger, Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes or Winter Soldier, Josh Brolin, Thanos, Mark Ruffalo as Hulk, Tom Hiddleston as Loki, Samuel Jackson as Nick Fury, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Haley Atwell as Peggy Carter, Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa, the Black Panther, Karen Gillan as Nebula, Jeremy Renner as Clint Barton, Hawkeye, Paul Rudd, Scott Lang, Ant-Man, Michael Douglas, the original Ant-Man, Hank Pym, Neil McDonough, Dum-Dum Dugan, Dominic Cooper as Howard Stark, Sean Gunn as Kraglin, Natalie Portman as Jane Foster, David Datsmachan as Kurt, I'm not sure who that is, Stanley Tucci as Dr. Abraham Erskine, Takati Watada as Korg, Toby Jones as Arnim Zola. I can never say that name right. Arnim Zola. We also have Digimon Hansu as Korath, Jeff Goldblum as the Grand Master, Michael Rooker as Yondu, and Chris Sullivan as Taserface. A rumored episode already will ask what if Peggy Carter became the super soldier instead of Steve Rogers. Also, Kevin Feige went forward and confirmed that we are getting a Black Panther sequel, a Captain Marvel sequel, a third installment of Guardians of the Galaxy, and Marvel's first family, the Fantastic Four, are coming home soon. I can't wait to see what they're going to do. Fantastic Four, they're back in the, I guess you could say the right hands this time around. And we'll see how they do this. I don't want Silver Surfer right away, but please, please, please do justice to Dr. Doom. He is one of the greatest villains ever. Please do Dr. Doom justice. The CW TV panel. Trailers for The Flash, Supergirl, Black Lightning, and the final season of Arrow. Also all debuted at the Comic-Con panel. For Arrow, Tommy, played by Colin Donnell, and Prometheus, played by Josh Segarra, will return. Laurel Lance gets a costume upgrade. Speaking of costume upgrade, Supergirl also got a costume upgrade, ditching the skirt, and now has a full body suit. It's kind of a nod to the Supergirl from the New 52, so we'll see how that looks. It looks great, actually, but we'll see how long it lasts on the show. Hopefully it's a permanent staple. Supergirl doesn't necessarily have to wear a skirt, but we'll see what happens there. Also, for Supergirl, departures, returns, and new cast members. John Cryer will return as Lex. Jeremy Jordan will return as Wynn. We have Julia Gonzalo, who was from Veronica Mars, Dallas, and Eli Stone, will star as a DC character, Andrea Rojas, a.k.a. Akrata, a polished businesswoman and heir to a Central American tech empire. We also have a UK-based Stars Nari, who played Kono, a Dorothy warrior loyal to Daenerys Targaryen in Game of Thrones. And he'll be playing a reporter called William Day, an original character created for the series. Also, Megan Rath will be joining Supergirl as a new Brainiac 5. Jesse Rath, who currently plays Brainiac 5, a.k.a. Brainy on Supergirl, happens to be the actress's real-life brother and told the audience that it was something that he had been pushing for since he was cast in that role as Brainiac. Also in Flash news, Sindala Ramathri, if you all know that name, he was Dr. Mohinder Suresh from Heroes. He'll be joining the cast as a series regular, and he will be the villain known as Bloodwork, also known as Dr. Ramsey Rosso. He will be a character with a brilliant physician with a genius intellect and the world's leading expert on hematological oncology. That's a mouthful. I'm glad he's going to be a villain because I don't want to say that over and over again. A former colleague of Star Labs' Caitlin Snow, Rosso rekindles their friendship after they are reunited by an unexpected event. But their longtime bond is quickly shattered when the Doctor's desire to defy the laws of nature takes him down a dark path. In the process, Rosso will be transformed from an old friend into the most chilling villain Team Flash has ever faced. Bloodwork is a fairly new character in the DC comics, making his debut in 2017. In the comics, he is plagued with hemophilia since he was a child, and ultimately gets a job at a morgue in Central City. After a series of experiments, he gains the ability to literally control blood, which makes him a very formidable and unique foe for the Flash. Also, the Riverdale panel is going to premiere soon. They also hinted at the fact that the Katie Keene spinoff series possibly will have a crossover episode or episodes. So we'll see how that happens. Whew, man, I am just tired bringing you all this news. But that is everything I got. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all learned something new. I hope I said something that's going to excite you about Comic-Con, or not Comic-Con, but about the future shows and movies. It's going to be an amazing next 2 years for all this content, and I am here for it. I'm going to bring it all to you right here on the podcast. If you're listening, please go subscribe. Please go like at all avenues. Follow us on the social medias at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And this has been the DYSG special episode. As always, live to play to win to live. I speak geek. Do you speak geek?